Hello, welcome all. Good evening. Welcome to this initiative, Saturdays for Sustainability Learning. And we are connecting to understand sustainability, understanding one new topic. Holistic understanding is something that we want to have, right? So, this is the goal. And before starting, today my video will be off because of electricity and light issue. So, I hope uh, we can we can discuss till video is off. Yeah, so with this initiative, this is a mastermind group of sustainability minded people or those who would like to know more about sustainability. So, mastermind group is nothing but a concept of synergy. That is what I think as. So, synergy is nothing but one plus one is not equal to two. There are infinite possibilities of outcome, and that kind of learning outcomes that we can get from mastermind group. So this is in short introduction about mastermind group. The concept was coined by Napoleon Hill, one of the most famous writer for self-help book. So as you join this session, so I'll just cover four outcomes that you can expect. First is learning one new concept every week, which is very crucial in today's time because we don't get that much time for reading and self-study during our busy working life, but definitely keeping 1 hour for learning that's a good investment, I would say. Second is networking with fellow professionals, understanding from people who have different educational, different social, different geographical background, different sectoral background. So it's wonderful to gain insight about same topic. So that we will try to get. Third is different opportunities. I would not only say career, but learning opportunities or entrepreneurship opportunities. So multiple opportunities we can share. And fourth is thought leadership. So consider this group as a non-judgmental discussion forum where we all can share our inputs, we can share our thoughts. It's a collective learning forum. All right. So with this four outcomes, and I hope just I'll share these 2 points because I feel these are very important. The best way to learn is question and answers and discussion. So that's why this entire session is in a discussion format. So all are encouraged to share, and there is no one expert into this session, so everyone can share their input. And second thing, uh, if you know about this data, information, knowledge, wisdom uh, pyramid. So in today's time, what I feel there is a lot of data and information more than enough for us. It's just we need to Google it, just we need to find it, we will get. But ultimately, the knowledge and wisdom, how to apply it, so that something is missing and which can only be gained through experience. So that's what we will try to understand in this session with experiences of different people. It's not one person's job, and one person cannot say, I am expert in sustainability, but definitely we as a group can, and we can get that benefit from all of us. All right. So with joining this session, you might have received this link maybe through WhatsApp or if someone has forwarded you. So I request if you can just fill this Google form, you will get a WhatsApp group link, and second is Google group invite. I am adding it on calendar. So if you haven't, please connect with me at the end of the session so that we can complete that formality. And from my side, you will not get any additional message, so that I can guarantee. All right. So let's start for today's topic, and which is very interesting: blockchain technology and sustainability. Because uh, blockchain is something that it's very it's very, I will say, controversial topic, right? Let's today I haven't prepared any topic as such, presentation as such, but I would definitely would like to know more from you all. What do you think about blockchain technology and how it can affect sustainability? And yeah, so before starting, anybody would like to comment on the topic? If you would like to start or you would like to add any comment, you can.
So yeah, can I speak?
Yeah,
Uh,
Siddesh, yeah. So we
yeah,
have
yeah. So
expert.
yeah, not an
We,
expert, I'll say, but this is just my experience and out of concern. So as I'm an evaluation specialist, so I used to evaluate training and projects. So my basic, and I'm also a systems thinker. So my major, and I'm an AI consultant also. So when we implement any kind of technology or any intervention, so I will call it as an intervention. Intervention can be a training, an AI project, or a technology like blockchain or AI or whatever. So the concern is now greater. Like when I consider any intervention, I consider the planet as a whole. As to when we are having any kind of intervention, be it technology or be it a process or anything, how are we going to evaluate it? Is first question. Whether the benefit is much higher than the cost. It should be higher than the cost. Cost not just in revenue, or cost not just in case of in money, but cost in terms of how it is turning out to be costly for the planet, for the environment. So if I'm using AI for any kind of thing, we have to consider whether that AI really is that beneficial for what solution I'm offering. Because when it comes to technology like AI or blockchain also, I think, and even Bitcoin, if you see, right, it consumes a lot of resources. It needs data centers to run those kind of softwares and those algorithms. So when you're running those, you are consuming resources. Now it's a catch-22 situation. When you're kind of trying to use technology to solve a sustainability problem, right? Right? Is it really needed? That's the question I always ask first. So I would like to know other viewpoints also in this. How much deeper we should go to really understand whether a technology is needed or not is a question I keep asking.
Perfect. Thanks a lot, Siddesh, as your evaluation expert. So rightly put. So yeah, and I'm assuming that all of the people joining in this session might not know about blockchain technology exactly what it is. Can we just quickly read up one report and where we will get to know about it, and then we can start. Otherwise, if anybody would like to simplify it in a simple language, you can also go ahead. So both are options for us. If anybody is interested to share in a simple language, you can.
Can I, Kulkarni, sir?
Yes, please. Yeah.
See, the blockchain technology is often today confused with cryptocurrency. First is, this is a technology which is separate, and it is something unique in the sense that we don't have a central server, what is there present in the today's context of data management with multiple databases. Here, there is no owner or a server which is there, and this technology becomes a distributed technology. This is number one. Number two is that it is more like it can be treated as something as a digital ledger, or what they call it as a digital ledger technology, similar to what we maintain in a paper ledger. Every information, whatever is fed into the ledger, it cannot be erased out, it cannot be removed, only it can be added. So what happens in the blockchain technology is that it is tamper proof. The information what goes in is there always in the ledger, and only thing the modified information gets added to that. So when the information comes to a block, what we call as a block or a group of files, if we say that, we call it as a block, and that block gets added to the new block which gets generated. So in other words, it becomes more of a chain which is there, wherein the information, whatever is available, is accessed by all the members who are there in the blockchain, of course, with permission and other things which have been built in. So in simple terms, it is more like a digital ledger technology which is there. Now, how it can help if we see one of the applications what is being done. For example, if we look at the social sustainability aspect, a company, for example, an automotive company has 100 suppliers, manufacture of car. Now, what is important is that all these suppliers, they must be in a position to follow the requirements dictated or indicated by the parent company. It becomes difficult to monitor that. Either you do an audit or you get a report and you do any other visit or verification of information, etc., etc. This technology, when it gets linked, every supplier is brought within the purview of what we call as a private blockchain. There could also be a public blockchain. Now we talk about a private blockchain. The company is able to get information instantly on which supplier is doing what is the status of that, and is he complying to the requirements, and who is lagging behind, etc., etc. So it is being used for capacity planning. It has been used in the social compliance part of it. In agriculture, it has been used for traceability of a product. Like if an ice cream is sold in a restaurant, they give a QR code. Just press that. It shows where from the milk came, where from the pista cashew came, uh, which yard it was there, when it was manufactured, etc. Everything comes instantly. So this becomes an advantage of blockchain. And what is expected is that this is going to be the future technology when we see that, as to we are going away from a server oriented situation where if the server conks off or it breaks down, the information data is lost or anything else can happen. Here, because it is linked to every other user, so it can easily be recovered, and that enables the people to recover the system and also to start the operations. So as we see in India, a lot of people have started using blockchain. For example, in Telangana, if we see that, or Andhra Pradesh, the land records which are there are all put into blockchain. If we see supermarket, the supermarket people use blockchain to see to it that who is supplying material, who is paid, who is not paid, etc., etc. So if you look at universities, now universities are using blockchain to give the degree certificates, that it has a unique identity, and also to see to it that these fake degrees and fake certificates can be removed from the system. It is easy for anyone to go with the certificate number and check from the university. You get to know whether it is an authenticated certificate or not. So the applications are many, and the technology is growing up. Of course, it has its minuses because it consumes a lot of energy of storage of information and other things. It is not climate friendly, as people say that. So that is another aspect of it which people are looking at it. But however, it seems promising, and it is something which is likely to come up in future. I mean, I thought I will just share for the information.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Muralidharan sir. So that was really great. And you summed up all the points so beautifully. So if I can just quickly rephrase what you said. So blockchain technology is something which doesn't require one central server. So we can imagine that means we can take an example that if we want to store any data or any record. So earlier we had a way keeping it in notebook, right? Writing it manually, Otherwise, with digital intervention, we have a possibility of storing all the data in one server, but that can have the problem that if that server get hacked or somehow that server security got compromised, then there is a issue. But with blockchain, it is called as it is a distributed uh, power, we can say, and it's a temper proof. So the data which is connected by block to block, and there is huge encryption and decryption happen, and for that computing power required is so huge that no single system, no single let's say a computer or any server system put together can handle that kind of load and can solve that algorithm in that short time, and that's how it becomes temper proof. So that is one of the promise from blockchain, I guess, that we can understand. Yes, and I've just summarized, Muralidharan sir, what you shared on the screen. So uh, please feel free if you want to add anything, and it's open for others as well. So you can just comment if you would like to add anything. And
Dhananjay, so you are saying that data is not stored on one central server, right? And there are some blocks on which this data gets stored.
right,
And so it means the data gets stored in multiple servers which are placed across geography, or what?
yes. So
Okay.
what we can do,
Hmm.
I'll just quickly share one article with Paul, okay? And maybe we can just check in short, just we'll glance through that article. We'll try to understand. And if any one of you would like to explore some topic uh, in detail, so let me know. We can read that. So this is about blockchain. What are the facts? How it works and how it can be used. Investopedia, and I'll share this link in WhatsApp group as well. So it's 20 minutes past 7. So let's just devote around 5 minutes to this article, and then we can take up discussion. And meanwhile, also, if you would like to add any point, please stop me there and we can start. Okay. So blockchain is a distributed database or ledger. So ledger is nothing but it's a record shared among a computer network node. They are best known for their crucial role in cryptocurrency. So cryptocurrency is one of the application of blockchain technology for maintaining a secure and decentralized record of transactions, but they are not limited to cryptocurrency users. Blockchains can be used to make data in any industry immutable. So immutable is a term which is used in blockchain. So immutable means that cannot be changed, inability to be altered. So no one person can alter the database and change the facts, right? Because there is no way to change a block, the only trust needed is at the point where a user or program enters data. This aspect reduces the need for trusted third parties, which are usually auditors or other humans that add cost and make mistake or possibility of mistake is there. Since Bitcoin's introduction in 2009, blockchain uses have exploded via the creation of various cryptocurrencies, decentralized finance and finance applications, and non-fungible tokens, NFTs, and smart contracts. So these are some of the applications that are popular, and out of that, I guess cryptocurrency is one of the most famous or buzzword that we all know. So yeah, so let's move ahead. So it's a digital database or ledger that is distributed among the nodes of peer-to-peer network. How does a blockchain work? So I guess here your question's answer might be there. You might be familiar with spreadsheets or databases. A blockchain is somewhat similar because it is a database where information is entered and stored. But the key difference between a traditional database or spreadsheet and a blockchain is how the data is structured and accessed. A blockchain consists of programs called scripts that conduct the tasks you usually would in a database, entering and accessing information and saving and storing it somewhere. A blockchain is distributed, which means multiple copies are saved on many machines and they must all match for it to be valid. The blockchain collects transaction information and enters it into a block. like a cell in a spreadsheet containing information. Once it is full, the information is run through an encryption algorithm, which creates a hexadecimal number called the hash. The hash is then entered into following block header and encrypted with the other information in the block. This creates a series of blocks that are chained together. So in short, let's say uh, there are creation of blocks and one after another, the block are linked, and in this process, the data is encrypted. And the transaction process, so we can just check this graphic as well. A new transaction is entered. It goes ahead. The transaction is entered across the world, and then the network of computers then solves equations to confirm the validity of the transaction. Then once confirmed to be legitimate transaction, they are clustered together into blocks. These blocks are then chained together, creating a long history of all transactions that are permanent, and then the transaction is complete. So I guess this is the easiest way how it can be explained. But I would also like to ask others if you would like to share any insight, or if you have any question, anything you would like to comment, you can please. Or let me know, we should read ahead. You can tell me.
We can go ahead.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so entire network works simultaneously trying to solve the hash. So hash is nothing but we can say, I guess, it's a riddle, a puzzle. Each one generates a random hash except for the nonce, short form for used one. Every miner start with a nonce of 0, which is appended to their randomly generated hash. If that number isn't equal to or less than the target hash, a value of 1 is added to the nonce and a new block hash is generated. This continues until a miner generates a valid hash, winning the race and receiving the reward. So it's nothing but the language used here is little difficult, but in short, it creates one, let's say, riddle, and computing power is required to solve this, and uh, multiple access points, multiple systems try to solve it with different permutation and combination. Please correct me if I'm wrong, and if it can be explained in a better way, please you can. Okay, I'm just trying to explain it. Once a block is closed, the transaction is complete. However, the block is not considered to be confirmed until 5 other blocks have been validated. Confirmation takes the network about 1 hour to complete because it averages just under 10 minutes per block. The first block with your transaction and 5 following blocks multiplied by 10 equals about 60 minutes. Not all blockchain follow this process. So there might be some different changes into this process as well. Okay. But how decentralization happen? Yeah, so what happens if someone tries to alter a record at one instance of the database? The other nodes would prevent it from happening. This way, no single node within the network can alter information held within it. So in short, if you want to understand, so it's like multiple people, uh, instead of people, I would say multiple systems are trying to correct if there is any alteration processes happening, or someone is trying to fiddle, or someone is trying to get access of uh, the blocks that is forming a chain. Because of this distribution, the encrypted proof that work was done, the information and history, like the transactions in cryptocurrency. So all these transactions are saved. So there is no way that you can go into past and change some record. So these are irreversible. Such a record would be a list of transactions, such as with a cryptocurrency, but it also is possible for a blockchain to hold a variety of other information like legal contracts, state identifications or company's inventory, like Sir told at the start, right? So there are multiple applications. So it is said that blockchain is transparent and it cannot be get accessed by one person. So cannot be its security cannot be compromised. Yeah. So I'll just go ahead and let's see. So it's saying blockchain can be used to immutably record any number of data points. Okay, let's see if we have any interesting graphics. And one of the applications that blockchain advocates state that the banks or the kind of contracts that we have, the need can be completely we can get an option which is better and also cost effective. So that is many of the blockchain advocates tell us. So like this, there are some of the examples that they have given. So yeah, but we would like to discuss all these points. What are the benefits that you can see from the blockchain and what you already know? So we will just list that as well. Okay, all right. So I'll just quickly skim through this article. Yes, so one of the application in the healthcare that I would like to read over here, because healthcare is one of the very important, critical, in the terms of previously there were some attempts of hacking some hospitals database, and that was really very serious. So let's read this paragraph. Healthcare providers can leverage blockchain to store their patients' medical records securely. When a medical record is generated and signed, it can be written into the blockchain, which provides patients with the proof and confidence that the record cannot be changed. These personal health records could be encoded and stored on the blockchain with a private key so that they are only accessible to specific individuals, thereby ensuring privacy. So this is one benefit that blockchain has. Smart contract is another one. A smart contract is a computer code that can be built into the blockchain to facilitate a contract agreement. Smart contracts operate under a set of conditions to which users agree. When those conditions are met, the terms of the agreement are automatically carried out. Say, for example, that a potential tenant would like to lease an apartment using a smart contract. The landlord agrees to give the tenant the door code to the apartment as soon as the tenant pays the security deposit. The smart contract would automatically send the door code to the tenant when it was paid. It could also be programmed to change the code if rent wasn't paid or other conditions were met. So this is one of the contract is one of the application of blockchain. Then supply chain, yeah, it's there voting. Yes. So is it okay till this time? If you have anything to add, please you can.
Yeah, so I just had a question. Like, I'm curious to know as to how blockchain is used in sustainability projects. If it uh, is this today just to understand blockchain, or we are trying to understand how it is linked to sustain or how it can be used? So
Yeah, we can understand sustainability as well. The reason being, in a blockchain, so there were two issues or two concerns of blockchain, right?
right,
My first priority was we understand blockchain, how it works,
right,
right? Then we can talk about what are the positive and what are the negative points. And
sure.
generally, the negative points of blockchain are actually associated with sustainability, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's the
And
concept.
one thing to explore is also what are the benefits or pros that blockchain is entering.
Sorry, your voice is breaking.
Can we use it to achieve sustainability or sustainable development?
Yeah,
Now,
yeah,
am I audible?
yeah.
Okay,
Now
okay.
you're on.
Yes, so I was just saying, if there are some pros or some benefits from blockchain, so can we use it to achieve sustainable development? So that was also one good
Yeah.
question that we can
Yeah.
discuss. Yeah, so I guess we can stop here. If you would like to add anything, please you can.
Kulkarni sir.
Yes. Yes, Muralidharan sir, please.
Yeah. See, today, if we see when we talk about sustainability, one of the biggest issues is about demonstrating climate neutrality or climate neutral or
Right.
moving towards net zero. Most of the companies today, they are in a position with all the protocols, ISO standards, they are in a position to do the accounting of GHG for what we call as the scope 1 and scope 2, which is possible.
Right.
The emissions of scope 3, which is from the supply chain, is extremely difficult and it is becoming complex to map and also to quantify the details. Herein, blockchain comes to use. If every supplier in the supply chain is linked through a private blockchain by the company, and the company asks on a daily basis or on a monthly basis to report what are their emissions, what is the step they have taken to reduce the emissions, and what is the amount of renewable energy they plan to do, what is their strategy to reduce emissions, etc., etc. All these things get captured. So the parent company who has linked all these suppliers with or asking them to detail the emission levels is able to get on a dashboard all the details about who is really doing something or who is laggard or who is not able to do anything like that, wherein corrective measures could be taken by the company. So when we talk about the sustainability part of it, the
Right.
supply chain emissions, which can be tracked, which can be monitored, and which can be improved upon, the blockchain technology will come to use. I had one of the opportunity to do one project. Of course, it was not really a big one. It was, I mean, because of the during the COVID period, we did one project on use of blockchain technology in the supply chain of apparel manufacturers.
Okay, great.
So it is basically the focus was on each of the suppliers of the company get linked to the parent company. The suppliers get linked to the parent company through the blockchain process. And all they are required to do is fill in the data every week of their production or of their rejections or anything related to that, wherein the company is able to know as to whether the product will be ready or not and how they can do the capacity planning to see to it that there is no heavy duty fines from the brand. So this was just a initial a simple project which was done of capacity planning and utilization of suppliers. The basic thing here is that when we talk of sustainability, anywhere when we look at it, it stops with the tier 1, the first level. It doesn't go to tier 2, tier 3 or lower down, and it becomes sometimes very difficult to monitor the tier 2, tier 3 suppliers. So what they are now doing is basically to introduce this technology to see to it that they are in a position to clearly know, track what the tier 2, tier 3 suppliers are doing, and the information comes to them for suitable corrective measures or to see what is the next step they are required for the decision making in simple terms. One of the companies which, if we see in India, they are trying to use blockchain heavily is Unilever. So Unilever has put all the people on the blockchain. They are trying to put it so that a quality ice cream which is there in your hand, if they give a QR code, you just scan that, you will come to know complete traceability of the process. Now today, if you have seen the newspapers, one of the issue is that with Cerelac, the Nestle has added more sugar and it is under the scrutiny of FSSAI, and the government authorities are taking lot of steps. But when you introduce the blockchain technology, clearly it will be known as to where the mistake had happened. First of all, was there a mistake? Second thing, if there was, at what stage, who, which location, which time this mistake happened, it can be tracked up to that level.
Right.
So
And then
if we look
immutable
at
record. Yeah.
if we look at the product safety part of it, if we look at the climate change part of it, if we look at the social sustainability part of it, so it is easy for governing the sustainability aspects. So a lot of applications are being thought of, and it is still in a, I would say, maybe a nascent stage. And we may see a lot of blockchains in the next 5 years. I mean, this is just because of my reading and my experience in the doing some little small project in blockchain.
Great.
So I have a question for Muralidharan sir. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to know, suppose since the carbon footprint is high, right, of the blockchain technology, but
Yeah.
also the use cases and uses are really good, right?
Yeah.
So can is have they devised any ways where the footprint can be reduced, in the sense, for example, for such kind of projects, I feel we don't need like thousands of machines to kind of look at the hash, right, or break the hash. So
Yeah.
there way where we can just do with 3-4 machines, or so that to reduce the footprint.
Yeah.
So if there are mechanisms like that, because financial I can understand, there you need a very high level of scrutiny, but for such kind of things, maybe even 2-3 machines can do the job. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
See, the basic thing is whoever is in the blockchain, he is in a network, number one, and there is no central server. Second thing, the information. If I do something, an entry or good or bad or right or wrong, you are in a position also to see that. You are in a position to view that. And you also get the information, what is happening with me. So what happens is that when there is a central authority, like a company which monitors their supply chain or their people around them, they are in a position to clearly know what is happening at the lowermost level. So that way, easy to track, easy to monitor, and everybody has a system. Now it has come to the stage that, for example, in a company, in a country like, if I remember right, Estonia, they tried using blockchain for voting in a municipality or at a small level. So there is no need to have go to booth, your name is there, name is not there, etc., etc. All those things are avoided. You are in a public blockchain. The government is monitoring them. And you just take your mobile phone and just click whom you want to vote. There ends the matter. So applications, what I meant to say, the applications like this are coming up. So it may be that the mobile itself will suffice to do various activities when we look at it.
No, I mean, I just wanted to ask when it comes to the cluster of machines trying to break that code, or
Yeah.
uh, right. So my question is regarding, suppose if when it comes to sustainability projects, ESG projects, or
Yes.
we are trying to implement blockchain. What if 10 organizations, or maybe uh, 50
Yeah.
uh, decide on that these are the ethical companies who
Very good.
who can come together and try to break it, or
Yeah. 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 That
rather than
cartelization.
using the entire public
Yeah.
domain
Yeah.
to try to reduce, so that the footprint is reduced, because then rather
Understood.
than thousands of machines, you come down to 50 machines. That is
Understood.
my question. Yeah.
Understood.
Is
So
it
that
done? Is it
that
done?
sort of a cartelization or
Mhm.
people trying to come up for
Okay.
ulterior motives. Okay.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is taken care of by algorithm. And that is the real, if I may put it as one of the real advantages, that it is difficult to break or hack or do any sort of a damage of the information, unless, of course, everybody colludes and comes up with this sort of a motive, ulterior motive. It's it's possible, as you rightly say, but what they say, what the literature says is the probability of such a thing happening is very less. So that is really the advantage of using blockchain technology.
Yeah. Okay.
Hello.
Got it. Yeah, Dhananjay, you
I'm
can
sorry,
continue.
actually, my
Yeah.
internet is not proper today. There is some heavy rainfall here, so I'm sorry about that. Yes. So Siddesh, I guess you got your answer.
Yeah, kind of. I'm just thinking from a the number of machines that so that is what I'm thinking. So yeah, kindly I got the answer, but I
Okay,
will have
great.
to read more on the technology to actually go deeper
Right.
and understand more. But
Yes.
my genuine concern is regarding that only, in the sense,
Mhm.
the benefits should outweigh the costs in terms of sustainability. If you are thinking, if we are using it for sustainability, then the cost should not be high enough that it is, in one case we are trying to solve the climate issue, and another case it is also. So that was my genuine just a concern. I'm not so any technology. I think people are working on that. So the
Right.
researchers are already working on that. But yeah, the technology is really amazing. It respect, the only thing that concerns me is the
Energy
footprint.
consumption,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Just I wanted to ask one question to Muralidharan sir actually. As you said, that project in apparel industry, right? So
Yeah.
application of blockchain.
Yeah.
Just a follow-up question. So is it embedded into, let's say, a local system where we use, let's say, data collection, we use Excel generally.
Yeah.
Uh,
It is
so,
it is like, it is like a program separately given, like
okay,
a portal or something where you
okay.
have access to that. So
Mm-hmm.
you just give your you get into you log into the portal, and
Okay.
you are made available whatever information you have to do entry. That's it.
Mhm.
And once
Okay.
this is done, then it is left to the parent company to give to what extent you can see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Sometimes the companies allow the all the suppliers to see everything. That is to
Mm-hmm.
motivate all the suppliers to see A is doing good, B is bad, C is
Right.
like this. So you have to improve like that.
Mm-hmm.
But many a times that information may or may not be required to be shared. So it may give rise to various other issues, managerial issues, administrative issues. So what the companies do is to see to it that what information will have to be made available at each node, what we call as the user, at each node.
Mm-hmm.
The company uses the algorithm to see to it that whatever is necessary is given to you, given to the company. So it becomes easier for the company to use it. And if we really look at it, it will be more like a simple uh, a program wherein you enter columns or an Excel sheet or something like that. That's all. But the
Great.
technology behind is that to see to it that they will be in a position to capture all that necessary information, and they can take decisions on that, or it will be made available to who require that information, filtering of the information, and make it available to the concerned people. So these
Right.
sort of algorithms and other things are there, of course, with other application related programs and other things are there for each sector. If we see that, like Hyperledger is one of the things. Then you have Ethereum and various other platforms which are there, and everybody chooses that platform depending on their application, and then the technology does everything for them.
Wow, that's great. But because initially I thought a blockchain would require a lot of computing space, or that would be a mandatory requirement when we run it
No,
practically. But if it is server based, then we can just just like going to a website and uploading data or
yeah,
accessing
yeah.
that. So that would be really
Only
wonderful.
thing is that data storage, because it requires heavy duty computing requirements and whatnot. They have the storage, this thing. So it becomes more of a energy intensive, because everybody has to participate, every node has to interact. So it becomes somewhat energy consuming or energy guzzler technology. So what now
Right.
people are trying to do is coming up with new solutions as to see how to reduce this or how to take care of this. So that is the work which is being done. And when it is done, there could be smaller blockchains. It could be private blockchains and other things. The application part of it, if it comes, a company can use it without any trouble.
Right. Yeah. So private blockchain seems to be a ray of hope over here. So means to solve the higher consumption of energy. So I guess that can be one solution. I'm not sure. It's open for others as well. If you would like to add or
That's what I was thinking. That private machines trying to that will be reduce at least the number of machines trying to store the notes and all that stuff.
yeah. And apart from that, one more concern that we have when we discuss blockchain, so its application is Bitcoin or the currencies which are freed from the regulation. Regulation in terms of banks or regulation in terms of regulatory authorities like uh, Reserve Bank of India in case of India, or like similar organizations, government bodies. So how do you all see it as a means of, let's say we are completely blank about the money, where it is going, how it is being used? What are your opinion and points on this?
See, if
Is
you
this the
see
issue
in the
or
case
can
of,
be solved? Yeah.
if you see in the case of like a institution like bank or
Mhm.
insurance or anything where the service is done. Now,
Right.
why do we require an insurance company? We just give it to LIC, and
Mhm.
LIC uses it somewhere, and whenever it is required, it gives us. Okay.
Right.
But like if there is a transaction, if I have to give you maybe 1,000 rupees, now I have to go to Google Pay or whichever it is, where it is the bank which monitors, takes care of things, and the money goes to you through the bank.
Right.
Now, in the case of blockchain, this intermediary is removed totally. So we
Right.
have a transaction A to B, B to A. So it is more like a trustless transaction, as they say. There is no trust. I don't
Right.
know you, you don't know me.
Okay.
And because of our business requirement, you say, I will send so much of material, I will have to pay to you this
Right.
much. So we have to go through a letter of intent or a purchase order and various other things. So the purchase order comes through the smart contract. So it is objective evidence that there is a contract. The
Right.
transaction which happens between you and me is through the blockchain. So you cannot refuse that this was the money which you sent and this is what I received or anything like that. So it becomes they just remove the intermediary in every stage, and that is what the technology is going to do. So all brokers, agents, distributors, everybody can be totally be removed. If I make say bread, I need not go to a supermarket and see to it that you get the bread. I can directly send it to you. That's it.
Right.
So like for example, in Pune, one company has done through blockchain 700 farmers. I think it is Agri 10x or something, the company which I was reading. So it's
Okay.
become a big this thing that they collect all the farmers and the farmers give their products and it is directly sold. They send it to five-star hotels and other places in Mumbai and immediately they get the payment. So there is no broker, agent, or transporter, or somebody else who is there. Of course, the material will have to move from one location to other, but the agent fees or contractor fees, other thing goes off. So whatever is the supply which is made, automatically the farmers get credited within 2 days or 3 days. So this company has been very successful in the agricultural area. If we see in Pune, some Agri 10x or something, which is one of the applications, and they use blockchain.
Wow. So
Yeah,
this is a
just to
revolutionary application. Yeah.
add on here, Dhananjay, I mean, from insurance perspective only, a lot of insurance companies are now coming up with this using blockchain technology there, especially the products like parametric insurance. So what they are doing is, if any event trigger, let's say flood or hurricane, right, and automatically, and if you have taken an insurance policy, then that the data will be driven through some authority, and then you will get the payment immediately. So there will not be any delay that any surveyor has to go check whether your property has been hit by that event or not. So automatically the entire payment will come to you, the claim amount. But I think from sustainability perspective, greenwashing, which is now getting, uh, I mean, coming up the news, so that can be avoided using blockchain, just like the supply chain or the scope 3 emission can be handled.
It is very difficult to be avoided. Only thing, it gets identified easily
Yeah.
because of the transparency in of the information which is there.
Yeah, I mean, first you need to identify it, only then you can, take the mitigation action.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tracking and monitoring becomes
Abs-
easier.
Yeah.
Right. Means blockchain can provide us a scenario where everything is transparent and there is no chance of manipulation of any database, right? So that we can understand in a broad sense, and that's how applications can open up. Yes,
Sir, this is
Mariam.
sir.
Yes, yes, go ahead.
I am Ram Mohan from Hyderabad.
Yes,
I
please
am
go
not
ahead.
much conversant with the blockchain technology at a deeper level, but I know that there is such a technology and it is more foolproof. But I am happy to know today is that the middleman is avoided, subject to other things being in place to check the authenticity of the transaction, that is paying money and getting the product. Elimination of the middleman saves time and the cost involved, maybe in the form of commissioner, brokerage, whatever it is. It's a really welcome thing, sir. Welcome step. One, the time reduces. Number two, cost reduces. This is my overall as a layman with respect to blockchain technology. This is my inference. It's a good thing, sir. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'll just
Kulkarni,
quickly
sir.
share on the screen. Yeah.
Kulkarni, sir, I can share that this thing about the blockchain which is there. If you are showing that, agree
Yes, sir,
10x.
please.
Yeah, I was
Yes,
just trying to open it.
okay,
You
sure,
can
sure.
show
Please,
that.
you can share. Yeah. I'll just
Can I?
give you the access. Yeah, please. You can share now.
Yeah, you can see.
Yes. Meanwhile, Ramakrishna, do you have any comment or question? Yes. Yes, we can see now.
Yeah, see, it's a blockchain powered startup. Puts farmers with decentralized approach, wherein directly the material goes from the farmer to wherever it is, whether it's a five-star hotel or wherever it is, to the market. So if we see that the major pain point is that companies are able to easily manipulate supply and demand verticals to their benefit, irrespective of the effect it has on the market players. So this has been one of the issues or this thing where we talk about the sustainability part of it. And it is, of course, tied with the fintech and other things for seeing to it that the payment and other things are taken care of. So getting farmers on board as they had to battle with obvious resistance of mindset because they don't know the technology, a big problem for them because you just use your mobile phone and something comes in and whether it is the right payment or wrong payment, how do I know? Everything happens through the technology. So if you see that farmers were finally convinced they saw the value in addition to the platform. It didn't take long for them to spread the message. So it reduces the wastage of material. It ensures that just in time availability of material. People have become village entrepreneurs and a lot of decentralized business model which has come up because of this blockchain. So they looked at it as a pilot scale. And now I think to my knowledge, they have more than some 700, 800 farmers who are there. So it just contributes to elimination of, food waste and other things. I mean, which is equally a sustainability related topic.
Right. Thanks a lot, sir, for sharing this. So initially, I didn't thought of this as an application and benefit contribution towards sustainability of blockchain, but this has given me personally as a new insight in the topic. Uh, I can see Ramakrishna, you have raised your hand. Please, if you have any comment or question, please. Okay, great, great. So I guess here we have completed 1 hour, right? Yes. So if anybody would like to add comment or add question, so please you can. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing that.
Brother, hello?
Yes, yes, Ramakrishna, you are audible.
See, I'm very poor in technology. I'm above 75. And I've gone through all these phases. It's a wonderful new subject and concept and ideas. Though being with engineering background and management and all, and whatever your subject was very interesting. I was practicing all this from 1973, 75,
Wow.
95. Okay. And in my own way or my own thought process, and particularly agriculture from various parts of the country. I was getting to Tamil Nadu, Andhra, and other places. And you won't believe, the plants were all so nicely organized. The inspections were done so thoroughly by my own staff at different locations that not a piece of rejection. And there was 5% allowance for them when it comes to the greenhouse, and it survives. So 1 week only the payment is made for the survivor, not for total blindly. And no vehicle should transport during the daytime in the hot sun. They all should take rest, and night only they should go, and they should water just while landing a place, and then again re-water before leaving that place. You understand the point? And you won't believe, my fundamental concept in management is 2% saving in input is equal to 10% of the profit. So I had my inventory always at the minimum in all industries: automobile, in transformers, in agriculture, in dairy milk, and various other industries. I have been more than 10-15 industries, I mean, of different kinds. But the concept and fundamentals were strong. I could stop a lot of my imports and did everything locally within the country. And with 2-3 different locations, knowing the power problems and other things, labor problems and all. If I don't get from Delhi, I get from Bombay. If I don't get, I get from my home state, Hyderabad. Like that, I was managing. And it gave me a lot of personal satisfaction. I didn't look at the package, what they were giving. I said, any company not paying my salary means they're beggars, then I should push to another one. You got it?
Right.
Very simple. Because I can't ask a beggar to be a beggar to a beggar.
Right.
However, even I'm talking including Tatas, Birlas, everything I worked. I left everyone. If they're not payable. I don't know, some companies were even paying salary or not. One was coming and paying to my wife 2,000 against 10,000. Yeah, and he was surprised to see next week I was not in the company. It was. I never asked, you didn't pay me. I said, okay, you are a beggar. Let me move to another. I went to agriculture. I went to chemical industry. I went to dairy. I went to building constructions. Varieties of industries. Boil manufacturers.
So one question for you. One question for you. So as you have experience into different organizations, and you might have seen the transition of, let's say, internet and different technological revolutions. What are your thoughts of blockchain being implemented in India or in organizations? So what are your thoughts? How it would be for 2030, 2050?
I'll tell you what Muralidharan explained and all. I loved it so much, so nicely. One thing is that fundamentally, if you look at, human being is losing trust mutually. Here, through the blockchain, you are converting the trust into faith. I'm putting in a spiritual language or your human language. I mean, you understand my point?
Yes.
So
yes.
this faith is more important, and 90% of the organization don't make the payment. I'll tell you, I made much of the payment through bartering rather than physical cash. Bartering means, you understand, they have specific some other needs. I see that the needs are fulfilled than purely being by currency. You got my point?
Right.
That is another new way of avenue of looking at it, because that is the need of the hour for them, for our own selfish also. By doing that, we are also helping ourselves. And that small farmer or a small scale industry, he need not know all your high tech and knowledge and to understand all that. But his needs are such way fulfilled that fulfill your requirement.
Right.
I mean, that's very important, because you should not unnecessarily overburden with technology and all on that poor farmer or a small scale industry, but your needs should be fulfilled within your own means. Please look at this point of view, which I got experience even from state government, even from the central government. I got materials which were scrapped by the Steel Authority of India. I went and fought in the Calcutta. I got my case won. They asked me to take it. And they said, you have to sell it as scrap. I gave it to my own supplier to cut it into some other sizes which was required for my own company. I got it 1/10 rate. You won't believe.
Great.
I mean, I'm talking, this happened in 77 or 78, something like that. I don't know. I mean, I was in Tata's in transformer manufacturing company. That is in 83, 84. And that's right.
Wow.
Even in Simpson company, lot of things I did. I mean, they were getting some item for 80 rupees, full bending the fender and all, no, mudguard and all. And I said, why are you doing? You can get it in 20 rupees. You're shocked because I was myself a small scale unit. I could not collect the payment from all the government suppliers who were all cheating me, like ECIL, BHEL, and so many other people in Hyderabad. But then the knowledge got so much, I infused it all to my suppliers. And I made the component into sheet metal into fiberglass, and I got just because my requirement was very low. So I could easily fulfill that and make a extended cabin for the driver to sleep as well as the truck to move.
Wonderful, wonderful.
I
So
mean,
what
I'm
I
just
got
sharing.
from your experience, so one is decentralization of power,
Yeah.
and which can be helpful for those people, let's say, though they don't have that much power or that much capacity to influence all these systems.
Mhm.
In that way, that can be helpful for most
So
of the people, and through which we can achieve sustainable development. So that is one
yeah.
insight that I get.
Kulkarni
So
sir,
Yes,
Kulkarni
sir.
sir, I will
Yeah,
just quickly share two things, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, please.
which will be maybe of interest to people. Okay, one is that how future is going to be revolutionized. So how blockchain can facilitate free and fair elections. If you see that, there is no election booth, there is no people moving around to vote, everything will be done from the mobile. So if you
Wow.
see that, imagine how much of carbon footprint will be reduced. Imagine how much of resources will be saved. Imagine how much of manufacturing of these voting machines which are there, which will have to be scrapped. They will all be taken off. So this is what is the power of the technology of blockchain, which is there. So, however, I mean, it has a lot of resistance and, how to bring transparency in election, every other thing is there. So this is an application, if you see, of a public blockchain, which in 5-10 years, it will come to India also. They are trying to plan it out, but what is the way to bring it in is, I mean, people are having apprehensions about it. So it is likely to come. Now, I talked about to you about the Unilever,
Unilever, right?
right? It's a pilot blockchain technology supporting deforestation. So again, we talk about the sustainability aspects. If you see, deforestation-free palm oil. So people are using it in their own way. The companies in coming up with newer technologies. It's a very powerful technology, and application of it is being thought of, and a lot of new things are likely to come up in the days to come. Thank you, Kulkarni sir.
Great. Thank you.
It's
Thank you
a
so much, sir, for
very
sharing.
interesting session. I am attending first time. I bless you all that the humanity should change at the conscious level. Firstly, they should know that they have to serve each other mutually for the growth of the real mutual trust and faith, and convert it into faith.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Surely,
We'll
sir.
take last comment from, yeah, Siddesh. I can see
yeah,
your
so
raised
I just
hand.
want 2 minutes. I just want to say thanks to Muralidharan sir and even Ramakrishna sir and Dhananjay for in giving so many insights regarding blockchain. So I just wanted to add from as in me and Dhananjay both are into systems thinking. There's a famous quote in systems thinking. Yesterday's solutions are today's problems, and today's solutions becomes tomorrow's problems. So when we go for any solution, the repercussions and the problems that comes out of them, we have to think very hard and go through it in detail as to what are the repercussions, and impact analysis needs to be done thoroughly, because at the end humans are involved, and as Ramakrishna sir said, at the end we all should be very ethical, and we are, but most of the world isn't. So how these technologies are used, misused, is at the end, however protection we do with blockchain, at the end someone will find a way around. So that's always a concern. So yeah, that's the one point I wanted to add. But thanks for such amazing insights. Yeah.
Yes. Thanks a lot, everyone, for your valuable time. And personally, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Muralidharan sir, for sharing your insights and practical understanding of how it works.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Yeah. So last comment, if anybody would like to add, otherwise we can stop here and have a great weekend. Perfect. Thank you so much. I'll stop the recording now.